Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. In this video, I want to talk about my training after I quit the baseball team through college. So hopefully I'm able to keep this much more concise than the last video. I didn't want to re-record the last video because I did talk about the things I wanted to talk about. I just went a little bit too far into the story because I want to keep these definitely under 10 minutes, but hopefully closer to 5, so they're a bit more concise and palatable, if I can say that word, to the audience. I don't want them to be too long because I know a lot of people won't watch all the way through to the end if they're super long, and I don't want them to be just too verbose. So after I quit the baseball team, I had to get my knees scoped. And my knee scope was frayed cartilage. I didn't have any ligament damage or anything like that, which is just pure luck, I suppose. But nothing wrong with my ligaments. I've never had any ligament issues, thankfully, in my knees. But had a bunch of frayed cartilage, so they just went and cleaned that up, and then I was just pretty much good to go after that. Right before I had my knee scoped, I actually had one of my worst ankle sprains in my life, playing a very 50% effort, half-court, 3-on-3 basketball game, walking backwards in between possessions, and just like rolled my ankle underneath myself and had a very bad sprain. It was probably, if it wasn't a grade 3, it was pretty close to it. But my Achilles was super tight for months after that. After I got my knee surgery and all of that, my ankle had healed, but my Achilles was tight. So I might have actually like torn my Achilles thinking back upon it. But as I got back, it was actually perfect timing to recover from something like that, because I was transitioning back to training after my knee surgery, and I didn't actually have really any recovery time. Basically, after I got my knee scoped, it was don't do anything for a week. After that, or actually, it wasn't even, she didn't even tell me to take any time off. It was basically like, you can't do anything today and tomorrow, and then it's just based on your tolerance. So I didn't have any like recovery time. It was basically you let the swelling go down, and then after that, it was just based on like what range of motion I can go through, and I came back very quickly from that, which was really nice, very nice. Like I said, I didn't have any ligament issues, so everything recovered very quickly. So as I got back into training, started to do powerlifting a little bit, started to get more into that, started to do a lot of repetitions on lifts, and I just would do like 3 sets of 10 of everything all the time. And I don't know what my technique looked like for the most part. If you look way back on the channel, you start to see some of the videos that I started to make. But I was just repping everything out all the time. And I remember my first heavy deadlift that I did ever was like a 440 or 445, in which I was like, oh, I'm actually like not weak. And I think for most beginner deadlifters, if you randomly did a 200 kilo deadlift, like that's pretty impressive. And even though my form wasn't really that great, like just the fact that I was able to do that I think I was probably like 190 at that point. I had a pretty reasonable body weight. It's pretty impressive to be able to do that. And even thinking back, you see people that are new to lifting, they don't do that number for a while. So I definitely had some predisposition to be good at deadlifts and pulls, from a mechanical, just from like how I'm built, but also just from my previous training, just building my body in general to be able to do that kind of stuff. So continue just to do reps of death all the time. I would just do reps. I would do like 3 sets of 10, and then a 4th set that would be an AMRAP, so like 4 sets of 10. And sometimes that last set would have 12 reps, and just continue to murder myself for I don't really know why. I just did. It's just what I did for a while. But my bench didn't go up. I remember I did like a training block, and my bench didn't go up, and I got mad, and I started benching a lot. But I did like a Brandon Campbell program, and I remember all my lifts went up besides my bench. So then that's when I started to like really hammer the bench press, and just continue to get stronger with that. During that time in college, my friend Seth, which you look way back on the channel, you'll see that we've had some videos together, because it used to be kind of a joint channel venture for a very small amount of time. But he had been doing some cleans and some front squats and some overhead squats and some snatches for football, for the football team. And so I remember I did a power snatch with like 135, which even thinking back, that is like, based on how bad my technique was when I first started weightlifting, is actually pretty impressive that I could even do that and have the mobility to do an overhead squat even with that weight. Even though it was, I remember it being very difficult, like mobility wise I could do it, but it was just, I had no shoulders. It was just, my shoulders were so weak. But I tried that one time, and then was doing some cleans in college. I used to call them all power cleans, so I didn't know the difference between those. But then after weightlifting for a while, then you'll know the difference between a power clean and a clean. But had gone up to probably like a 255 clean. Nothing really that impressive, but it was to make me better at powerlifting, because I think I really don't know. I think it was because Seth had done it, and then I started to look it up, and it's supposed to make you more powerful, obviously, and faster, and give you stronger legs. I'm pretty sure that's why I did it. And just continued to like mess around with it. I remember I did it with like deadlift straps on and a powerlifting belt. It's pretty horrendous looking, but mobility wise, I always was really good at getting into those positions. So that was kind of like my time in college. I did some powerlifting. I did my first powerlifting meet. Just continued to work on that sport because I wanted to get stronger, and I liked powerlifting, and I think I'm pretty naturally good at it, of just getting stronger and building muscle just from my genetics. So it's something that when you have some success with and you're able to progress with, you kind of get motivation to do it. I didn't really get hurt and got stronger and can kind of do 4 sets of 10 on deadlifts and get stronger. So I had a predisposition to be good at it. So that was kind of like my college experience, because I didn't really start to dabble in weightlifting until the summer after I graduated, when I was looking for a teaching job. And I think that will be a really good transition point, because that was a very interesting summer in the sense that I was at a very neat gym, and one that I wish I could still go to, but it's 4 hours away from where I live now. But that gym was a really cool place, and that was when I started to mess around with it, weightlifting a little bit more. And then after that point, when I moved down to Cincinnati to teach, that's when I really started to get dabbling in the sport. And then I met Justin, who helped me tremendously when I was first getting started in the sport. But with that being said, that's where I'll stop this one. So hopefully, a little background of my college training time, just a lot of powerlifting after I quit baseball and did my first meet. I believe my best numbers for strength was definitely did a 275 bench. I don't know if I got above that. I might have done 295 on the bench press. My best deadlift, I believe, was 585. Actually, I know it was 585. I don't think it was anything above that. Then my best squat was like a 420 pounds, but it was low bar. And I remember I had experimented and done my first high bar squat, high bar ass to grass squat. I did 315 and thought I was going to, it was the most difficult squat of my life. And because I had the mobility, I went all the way down, and I was in chucks. And I was like, this is insane compared to what I would do with low bar squats. But I was still doing low bar for the most part. So everything was helping my deadlift, and nothing was helping my squat. So that was kind of the college experience. And it's continued to want to do powerlifting, and was using any weightlifting stuff I would do to help me in powerlifting. So it was like accessory work, because I'm kind of a maniac like that. When I think about that, all the things that powerlifters think to do, I thought of the most difficult thing to do to make me better at a powerlifter, because I'm just I don't know, I'm just weird like that. It's just, when I think back, it's just pure luck that I did it at all, of any sort of cleans and snatches of any sort in college. And I only wish that I would have done it more and done it earlier, but that's everyone's wish. They would have started earlier. You can't really change that. But I'm almost home now, so I'll wrap this video up here. It's actually snowing an appreciable amount. It's covering the roads a little bit. I don't think it'll be enough for a snow day, but stranger things have happened. So anywho, I'm 8.5 minutes in. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.